Hello, brothers and sisters. Minister Edward here on looks like we got the first day of May 2025. This is the new webcam. Brother online volunteered. It's very kind of him. Thank you very much. This video is to see if mainly if the microphone's going to work. I have dozens of people complaining the microphone doesn't work, so I don't know what's wrong with webcam cameras or why they do that, but I know it's been a constant pain. I'm sorry about that. Some people have complained about my setting. You know, I don't have a nice green background or something artificial. And I'm not technical like that. I don't have, resources and things, so I'm just here as best as I can do. And for the moment, this is it. So as many of you have noted, the RCMP videos were a standard for unprecedented history. There are many in the rooms that I've been posting the video. It's quite incredible, actually, how narrow-minded and obtuse some people are, where they're actually being critical and attacking me for posting those videos, daring to tell them that the RCMP have fake oaths. Can you imagine the nature of some people and what goes on inside their heads when we have corruption across Canada, fake oaths, evidenced, proven, and yet rather than getting on side and saying, finally, we're going to get rid of the corruption, no, they want to support the corruption and they get mad at you for exposing it. Well, this is societal insanity. People that have very, very low IQs, not the ability to think beyond their hat. In other words, they have never bothered to think out of the box. And they get mad at others when their ego of showing their memes, there's some people in some of the rooms, all they know how to do is post somebody else's memes. They go and gather them. Somebody else did the work making the memes, and that's their whole life. That's all they do. That's their claim to fame. Those people know who's doing it. They're like rabid in their efforts to overwrite. Here I am trying to get people to see the RCMP videos, and they're in there, changing the efforts that I'm putting forth, even saying that I need, a mental exam. So you can imagine there's some very, very dark, nasty souls out there. They don't like it when they're exposed to the truth. And this is historical. That's what Plato wrote about 2,500 years ago when he wrote about the Greek governments in Plato's cave. He said you can expose people to the truth, but they'll be so in shock, they'll attack you. They'll throw stones at you, tie you up, and gag you. They do not want to know the truth that none of them knew. Now, if people did know the truth, well, then you could expose it and they'd start to accept it. But when it's brand new and nobody's ever seen it before, and it's the fact, it is true, yeah, people, they react negatively to that. It's offensive to their ego because there's a social ego of arguments and making claims about this, that, and the other thing. And when somebody comes along with something as staggering as the whole system is affected with the fraud of fake oaths, well, it puts all the other arguments lost in space. They're kind of useless because now you finally found the whole thing is a fraud. They're all imposters. They have no real authority, and you can confront them with the proof of the fake oaths to solve the problems that all the other arguments have attempted to, ratify and fix. You don't need to argue when you have evidence that the system is running a fraud. You prove the fraud and say, I can't be compelled to, intimidated to submit to fraud. And that's a fact. So hopefully some people will think about that, because I'm hoping others will repeat. Take a copy of that video that was done with the RCMP, and you take it down to another RCMP detachment. And you complain, say, I'm looking for protection from this false oath cabal. They're racketeering. They're right across Canada, and they know they have false oaths. It's not like they don't know. They do know they have false oaths, and I have evidence of it. One, a whole transcript from 2020. The other, a telephone call with the Assistant Justice Minister to Dave Hancock, who was the Justice Minister, Neil Skinner, delivering to him that the oaths are fake. And Dave Hancock's answer was, yeah, I know the oath is fake. We're going to leave it just the way it is. Well, that's conspiracy then. He's aiding and abetting a crime with a conspiracy to violate the law. These are criminal cartels. They're crime at the highest levels, and just because they wear white collars and suits doesn't make them any less criminal and vile. So when you find other people that try and put you down and try and dismiss your solution here, when you come as the watchman, dutiful, in warning them everything's a fake oath fraud. Everybody needs to know that. Why wouldn't you want your children to know? Don't go register getting a driver's license with that fake oath fraud. Don't register your children with that fake oath fraud. Don't register your land and cars with that fake oath fraud. Develop a little bit of intelligence and start to examine what actually takes place when the RCMP say, oh my God, this is so true, we have to send it to Interpol. That makes all these morons posting memes trying to overwrite it look like real crud, like low of the evolutionary scale, lower than a snake. And that's how decrepit some people are and how reactionary they are to their willful blindness. They want to stay in the cave. And you come along, you're shining the bright light, and there's that song, Blinded by the Light. And it's historical. The story of Plato's cave, of people denying the truth and getting mad at you because you tell them the truth, has nothing to do with you being bad or wrong. It has everything to do with a confused, weakened, ill-minded society that believes they must stay in the cave because you can't fight City Hall, and if you raise a fuss, you'll get beat up. Well, I'm not fearful of that. When I've got proof of the fraud and I go to the RCMP asking for protection, well, they can't come beat me up now because I'm correct. I have the evidence and the proof, and so do others that were there with me. There were 6 of us crammed into a little room, and the RCMP, Eric Jones Gatineau, was shocked and amazed and was speechless. I'm sure this man may eventually quit the force because he's found out that there are corrupt elements within the force. When he tried to go get attention to some of his commanders, he was put down and told to just ignore it, but he had to write up something, and so he sent it to Interpol. We've drafted up a document to send to Interpol, but I've been informed that only governments can communicate with Interpol. We're trying to bypass that. And I hope others will pay attention to this. We need other men and women that are brave, not these lily-livered chickens that keep posting memes to overwrite the proof of the video, and they want people to ignore it. No, they're about the lowest scum on the planet. But no, this is for people that have integrity, many people who have children or they own land or property, and they want to stand up to the fraud with a valid concern and impetus that can't be shot down. Well, that's what this is. When you show them the fake oath, that's it. It's end game. The story's over. 16 centuries of fraud, bang, you show them the fake oath, it's over. So I'm sorry if it's so cut to the chase and matter of the fact, but you can't make, something so spectacular and so good better. It's as good as it gets. It's the way it is. And if people want to utilize it, they can't be stopped. If they want to throw stones at it, well, they're going to get found out. People are going to see them throwing stones at the truth, and they're going to start looking at them going, what's the matter with these people? They're really ill in the head, like some of the people on COVID BC chat room. So I just wanted to test out this new camera, ensure that it's working, and give you a little update on what people's efforts to go and expose the fake oath fraud entail in. They entail in you being immunized. They're certainly not going to come and bring you in. Even the city police wouldn't dare to come and arrest because you're coming in with a video and the judge is going to see the video. The RCMP got fake oaths and you're calling a witness, Eric Jones Gatineau, and he's going to come to bear witness to the court that the court has a fake oath. Well, that's the catch-22 of all time. So, of course, they're going to withdraw the charges. That's the motive of the prosecutor once he sees that RCMP video. He doesn't want you coming to court and calling Eric Jones Gatineau in to bear witness, because you can call him as a witness. And once the court sees that, well, now the judge is staying. He's got a fake oath, that judge, and he's caught. He's got to remove himself right now. So they're not going to call people into the provincial courts, those of us that take the bravery to go in and report on the fake oath fraud to the RCMP. Immunize yourself. Do your family and friends a good service to provide them the example. Blessings. Bye for now.